All right, welcome everyone to this Thursday night's edition of Southern Woods and Waters. And tonight, just sit back for a minute. We're going to take you fishing with my good friend Andrew Robertson. You probably know him at smalljaw.com. And if you have not been on the internet site, I'll get it out, of smalljaw.com, you have missed out because it's been going on for quite a while now. It's got a great following. They even have smalljaw.com tournaments and things like that, shopping that you can do, but there's always somebody talking about smallmouth fishing on that site, and it just helps you make yourself even better. You're learning some of the newest techniques. So let's broaden out. Introduce my guest to you. Andrew, thanks for being on the show, brother.
You're welcome, Hugh. Appreciate it.
You're
Good
awesome,
to be here.
brother. I'll tell
Thank
you.
you. So are you.
Andrew's something else. He works at the Goodlettsville Fire Department. So not only is he saving our lives during the week, but he's taking us fishing on the weekends.
That's right, and during the week.
Mm-hmm. And tell us now, you started smalljaw.com a long time ago. Tell us about how long it's been.
It's been 9 years, actually.
That's great.
And we did it basically to update current reports and, good reports, nothing that was, we're catching them out there in the lake. We wanted to give detail, help people all the way down to what's a Texas rig. Everybody knows what it is, but, somebody new to fishing.
Don't.
That's right. We want to teach them. We want to open up to them and let them know that, hey, we're not going to play games here. You want to learn how to fish, we're going to help you.
Well, you saw a need. It's not going to be to us probably to go fish Table Rock this weekend.
Right.
So why would we get information from Table Rock about smallmouth fishing? You guys were giving blogs every week, every day about, hey, I went out there today and I didn't catch anything from 6 o'clock till about 7:30, but as soon as that sun peeked over, I started whacking them.
That's right.
And that kind of information is vital.
Right, yes. And it also helps you compare notes to your day. If you, I caught 5 fish today, and then somebody else comes up and, they've been on the site, you've been fishing with them, you trust them a little bit. Well, man, we had 20 today. This is what we was doing. You're like, oh, I knew I should have done that.
That's right.
So it helps,
It does. It doesn't. Don't you think, though, the whole site hones us all to be better fishermen?
Absolutely. Those guys eat it up. I have people email me all the time talking about, man, I appreciate your site, because while I'm here at work, I got a minute, I can go on the Small Jaw, and I feel like I'm on the water. So, they get on there and read, look at pictures, and, they're working all week, but they get that moment of just relief for a minute,
I got to tell you, I got a buddy of mine, he gets on Small Jaw, and he's locked behind a desk, and he gets breaks just like everybody else, but during his break, he goes to smalljaw.com.
Yes.
And he checks out. Now, he doesn't really converse that much, but he said he learns a lot from just reading what the other guys are saying.
There's some excellent fishermen on there.
Oh, yeah.
I'm kind of has been now. There's some guys on there now. I learn from everybody on that site, and it's not nobody's there to kind of really bash anybody at all. If they are, they won't be there long.
That's right.
So. We kind of control that, monitor it a lot, and, we've got some great administrators, moderators on there. They're constantly, monitoring it. So
it's a great family site
absolutely.
to go to. That's what I like about it, Andrew.
And the fellowship, when we get together, is unbelievable.
Now, y'all hold about how many tournaments a year y'all try to do?
I make it to 2, all right, and that's going to be your early winter tournament, which is normally the second weekend in December,
right?
And then they have another one that is normally that Keith puts on, Keith Palmero up there, and he puts on normally around the middle of April, sometimes 1st of April or late March, just kind of depending on the weather. And I go to that one, and then the nighttime tournament. I'm scared of the dark, so I normally make a point to kind of get there, but I don't make that one all the time. But Greg Brizendine from Dust of Dawn puts that on, and that's kind of grown over the years. And there's a lot of people that love to night fish Del Holla. There's a passion there that I once had, but with kids now, you just it takes me out for 2 or 3 days.
And I want to say something else too. Y'all talk about Dale Holla, you talk about Center Hill, you even talk about Kentucky Lake, Old Hickory, all of them. Mm-hmm. Anywhere the smallmouth are, you guys are going.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. and we need to talk about Dale Holla a little bit tonight too, if we got time. it had a humongous fish kill this past summer. And
It did.
you know, there's a lot of people that travel to come fish Del Hollow
That's
because
right.
it is, you know, the world record smallmouth. And, you know, everybody's been scratching their head, you know, where's these smallmouth? But I'm going to tell you, that largemouth population on Del Hollow is unbelievable.
It is flat busting at the seams.
Yes, but now, according to recent reports, I haven't been there. I've been playing on Old Hickory and Kentucky Lake.
Right.
And according to new reports, you know, Keith's putting out there that things are turning around.
Yes.
So, you know, the weather's been messed up completely. We saw a lot of fish evidently push up. Keith's talking about seeing them in post-spawn, some in pre-spawn right now. So there's those 2 bites going on, and right now, you know, he's seeing a big push. So with this moon that just came up, last week?
April 27th?
Yes, it started a push. So thank goodness. But they're starting to see a lot more smallmouth being caught. But they are saying that as of right now, they're not seeing the average size that they're used to seeing.
Do you think, though, that fish kill, and I know it was a big one. I know it was. But you think it's Mother Nature's way of kind of helping the situation because the food and everything, trying to balance out the beams there?
Absolutely, because the past couple of years, I've seen some fantastic spawns happen on Del Hollow.
I have too, yes.
And you give that lake another 3, 4, maybe 5 years, it's going to be right back to normal. And I think it's going to even be better. I mean, it went out with a bang before the fish kill. I mean, the year before that fish kill was phenomenal for everybody. I mean, you're talking 50, 60 smallmouth
I got
a
to
day.
go with Keith.
Yeah. Well, then you know. Yeah,
It was great.
Woo, it was phenomenal. So, yeah, I think it's nature's way of thinning out the herd. And, you know, a lot of the fish that did die were the older smallmouth, you know, the bigger, 4.5, 5 pound smallmouth. So,
Well, I want to ask you a question, and this is one that a lot of people ask, want to ask, but they're afraid to ask. And that is, you know, a lot of smallmouth fishermen don't take the fish. Now, largemouth fishermen are the other way around.
Oh, yeah.
There's a lot of largemouth that are taken home and eaten, but smallmouth aren't necessarily done so much that way.
well, they're poisonous.
Yeah,
No,
don't spread
just
the rumor. But that's what I'm thinking is a lot more people put the smallmouth back. It keeps reviving itself, and there's just so many of them that I think that's Mother Nature's way of saying, you know what, we need to thin them out a little bit here. We're running out of forage or running out of habitat for certain ones. I think it's the way Mother Nature kind of takes care of it.
I do too, and I mean it's people's right to take their limit home. You know, I mean that's the law, and so you know there's people that talk about it on site, and you can tell sometimes it's
hairy.
It gets hairy, yes sir, and even that, and even live bait, you know they talk about that, but you know it's our job on Small Jaw to teach these people how to fish correctly so that you're not, you know, injuring the fish, and making sure that if you do take a fish home, it's okay. Just don't take more than you're supposed to.
That's right.
So,
all right,
or an illegal fish.
I want to get back with Andrew. Andrew's full of knowledge, and let me tell you something. If you're just tuning in, you do not want to miss the rest of the show because we're going to keep asking Andrew all these difficult questions, and I promise you he's going to come up with some great answers. So hurry back to more of Southern Woods and Waters.
See you in a minute.
This segment is being brought to you by Stan Sloan Zora Bait Company, where setting the hook is an everyday thing. All right, this week's Picture of the Week is being brought to you by Flowers Garden Center. Hey, Mike and Deborah said to tell everybody hello. Come on out there. They can make your green thumb. If you got one of those pale white thumbs, you know, they'll make it green for you instantly. Just show up down there on Eaton's Creek Road. I'll tell you what, he's got thousands and thousands of plants. So give him a shout. Go by there and see him. Our first picture here, this is from Craig Knowles. You see him on the show every now and then. This is Zach Knowles, his son. Nice bird right here. And by the way, Zach birded out with this one, so he is official camp cook now. So he is done. But we appreciate that. Our next picture here, this is some results from the Middle Tennessee Crappie Club. They had a tournament on Woods Lake on March 23rd. Toby Ivy and Dave Odell had a 7-fish limit, got first place. Listen to this. 6.18 pounds with big fish of 1.41 pounds. That's a nice crappie all day long.
All day long.
That is frying size, my friend. Our next one here, this is our second place winners, Roger Mayfield Sr. and Roger Mayfield Jr. with 7 fish that weighed 6.04 pounds. So they were only about 11 hundredths out, 11 or 12 hundredths out. So awesome job, guys. Y'all are doing so well. And then here's the third place winner. This is John Wells with a 7 fish limit of 5.91 pounds. And I tell you what, they are getting huge. They started off with only 16 boats. Now they're up to 47 to 50 boats, and we've been telling everybody, if you want to get into crappie fishing and do some turn fishing, this is the club for you. And we appreciate that. Hey, you can send your pictures to us here at Southern Woods and Waters, 474 James Robertson Parkway in Nashville, Tennessee, 37219, or simply email them to me at hugh@southernwoodsandwaters.com. We'll go on here really, really fast for you. Now I want to talk to Andrew some more. And Andrew, Dale Holla, and I want to say this. There's several people I know that go to Canada, go to some of the Pickwick. Now, I know Pickwick's full of smallmouth, don't get me wrong. But if I was a trophy smallmouth fisherman, why would I go any other place than Dale Holla? I mean, it's the home of the world's record.
Good question.
I mean,
it's you always have that one bite every spring. Of course, I do.
Oh, yeah.
And I hear stories about it all the time, so I know other people do too, that it was that fish that you couldn't do anything with.
Yeah.
You know, and
Yeah.
that bite comes along. And, you know, are they in there to break the world record? I don't know.
I think they are.
Yeah, they're somewhere in there, but you know, the moon's got to line up, stars.
Oh,
and all that, you know,
yeah,
because
you're right.
once you hook them, good luck, buddy.
Good luck.
Because you know, we play around with light line, and you know,
bet.
we play around with all the elements that they say don't do. You know,
That's right.
to boat a world record fish, but it's done all the time. You see people break those line records all the time, but it's the environment. I had a guy post the other day that said Dale Holla always produces, and
He does.
And so I went in to read it, you know, and fishing was terrible. You know, that's when when everybody was crying, going, "Oh, there's no fish in the lake," you know. But you know, just have a little faith. But he was like, you know, I drove 5 hours, stayed the whole weekend, caught 2 fish. But you know, as far as the beauty of the lake and just getting my stress level down and enjoying myself, Dale Holla always produces. And I thought, you know what, this man's got a point. You know,
And he's got it.
yeah, exactly.
He's got it.
Yeah.
It does help to catch fish.
Yeah,
it does help to
absolutely.
do that.
Yes.
But it is also the scenery of Dale Holla. It can't be beat.
Nowhere.
I don't think there's a lake out there that can beat Dale Holla. Keith Palmer took me to a place on Dale Holla. We were right on the edge of the river channel. We were throwing big hammer swim baits, and we were stirring them up. We were even using his color, his favorite, the one he created.
Chaser, yep.
So I mean, we did everything Keith said do. But we were in 24 foot of water, and the grass was 4 foot below us. It was 20 feet tall.
Yes.
And you could see it. You could see how tall that grass was.
Yeah, those humps are tremendous on Dale Holla.
I have never in my life been to a lake that was that crystal clear, where you have to mentally make sure that you don't jerk that bait, because that brown fish is headed like a torpedo.
Oh.
And it's everything you can do. Don't jerk, don't jerk, don't jerk.
Yes, and that bite's going on right now, the fluke, the floating worm.
Oh,
so
yeah.
if you want to have some fun right now, folks, head to Dale Holla, because there's nothing better than watching a smallmouth come up and take that fluke or that floating worm. I mean, literally, it's heart-stopping. So.
And you guide also, and I want to tell everybody about that.
I've kind of backed off.
Are you backing off?
Yeah, I've backed off. The small jaw's keeping me busy. The tackle shop's
figured it
keeping me
was.
busy,
Yep.
and for me, you know, there's some great guides up there. You know, you got Keith Palmero, Greg Brizendine, Bobby Gentry, Ralph Sanford. You got some great guides still there that know the lake like the back of their hand.
Big name guys.
Yeah, well, but they're great people.
They are.
I mean, to me, they're friends of mine. So it's not,
They
you
are.
know, hey, great fishermen, friends of mine. You
Old
know?
country boys.
Yeah, old country boys. And so it keeps me busy, and I just don't feel like, you know, to be a guide on that water, you need to be on that water as much as possible.
250 days at least a year.
And those fish are here today, gone tomorrow.
Oh, yeah.
And I just don't feel like it's right to take somebody's money when I haven't been on the water on Del Holla in 2 weeks. So
that's right.
Right now it's about children and camping and, you know, fishing while we're camping. Kentucky Lake's a perfect place to do that. Del Holla is too, but
oh, yeah.
My kids like numbers. You know, they don't care what they catch, so that's kind of where we're going right
And you
now.
have to weigh that out too.
Absolutely.
You know, you have to weigh that out. But now I heard the crappie fishing's excellent on Del Holla right now.
It is huge
Yes.
crappie. And, you know, speaking of people eating fish, taking fish, you know,
Yeah.
one of the things that worries me is I hear so many people nowadays, it doesn't really worry me. They can do it if they want to, but everybody's eating them spots, you know.
Oh, yeah.
I've never had one, so, you know, I love catching them, but I hear on Center Hill all the time, you know, Center Hill, Del Holla, you know, they catch a 30-something Kentuckies, whatever, they're going to lie well, you know. And I'm like, oh, please, you know.
But don't you think the rhetoric's turning on the spotted bass? Because I'm going to tell you something.
Yeah.
TWRA, the state fishery biologist, he didn't like spotted bass. Before Bobby Wilson, before Bobby got in it, he really didn't like the spotted fish. He thought we ought to just take them all out.
Oh, no.
Because they're not natural to Tennessee is what he was saying.
Right.
But I'm going to tell you, folks, they fight.
My second
I
favorite.
love to catch them.
If I can't find the smallmouth, the next
spot
ones
will
I'm
do.
going after the spots, buddy,
You
because
will
they are so much fun, especially just sitting over top of them and just, you know, then boom. I mean, it's on when you stick one.
You're exactly right.
But they say they're good. I don't know, but I just know a lot of people, that's their preference now in taking fish home sometimes.
Oh, yeah.
And Center Hill's got such a good population of big spots.
Big spots. I'm glad you said the big thing because Chris Snow's been catching, you know, regular in the 3 to 4 pound range. That means that lake's coming on.
Can you imagine when that water actually does get up over all
Whenever
that
they bring that
vegetation?
water back up,
I'll be living on Center Hill.
It'll be nasty. It'll
Yes,
be
it
nasty.
is. Yes, it is.
It will scare you, the amount of fish. But the Coosa River, which is a little south of us here, the Coosa River chain, they're catching a lot of 5 and 6 pound spots. And if that's what you're after is the bigger spots, I suggest the Coosa River. That was Wheeler and Neely Henry and
just the whole Coosa chain.
the whole Coosa chain right there.
Yeah.
And they're full of spotted bass, big spots. But don't leave out Center Hill if you.
Sir.
I mean, Center Hill's 45 minutes from here.
Yeah, I know. That's why
You and I could be there, you know, first thing in the morning.
And the smallmouth's phenomenal there.
Yeah.
So, you know, I mean, you've got so much right here. It's, you know, you got Del Holla, you got the Cumberland River, you've got Center Hill. Priest right now is, you know, the water's come up. Guys, you want to catch a smallmouth, put a grub on, put a small swim bait on. I mean, stay up in the water, call them a little bit, and you will get your rod knocked out of your hand. So, you know, and that's the thing with guys, you know, they say, you know, we caught, you know, 2 smallmouth, we just can't find them. Well, if you're throwing the largemouth baits, you're probably going to find, you know, with the number of fish that's on that lake, you're probably going to find a largemouth. But if you just conform to crappie fishing on Priest, you're going to catch crappie.
Yeah.
You know, if you're throwing
exactly
crappie
right.
baits, you know, that's what you're going to catch. Of course, the other day I was on a hickory fishing that farmers tournament, and I was throwing bass baits, and I was catching huge crappie. You know, right before the full moon. They were killing that chatterbait. But, you know, conform to the smallmouth. Give them what they want. Size down, a little bit lighter line, and, you know, give it some erratic action.
A little deeper action, a little deeper stuff.
Yeah, and just give it to them. And if you catch one, there's going to be more around.
Oh, yeah.
So, you know, just a word to the wise. You know, if you want to go after smallmouth, put those big baits down, and, you know, they will hit them. But, you know, if you just strictly want to go smallmouth fishing, and it's hard to do when there's so many bass biting, you know, just do it, and you'll find them, and you'll learn.
Make a day of it.
Absolutely.
Just call it a day and say, I'm going to go after small. Hey, we got to do our product of the week now.
Southern Woods and Waters Product of the Week, brought to you by FowlQuest.
All right, welcome back. I just wanted to talk to you a little bit about fishing line, and Vicious Fishing Line is one that you should consider. It's a great line. It's made right here in Alabama, right just south of us here in Alabama. And just some great guys and gals that work there at Vicious. They also have come out with their soft plastic line and a few other bait lines. But what I want to talk to you about is they have been carrying the braid. I mean, you can see the braid just about anywhere. But now they've come out with a Pro Elite fluorocarbon. Now, they've had fluorocarbon, but this is their Pro Elite series. It's a whole lot better. It travels a whole lot further than the one that they had just a year ago or 2 years ago when they came out with a fluorocarbon. This one travels about 15 to 20% further with this Pro Elite. Wow. So if I could add another 5 or 6 or 7 feet to your cast, that means you're not spooking fish.
That's right. And you need it for smallmouth.
You sure need it for smallmouth. But go check them out at vicious.com, viciousfishing.com, and check them out, their line right there. They're everywhere. Bass Pro Shops got bunches and bunches of them. Go by there and see them. Hey, we got to take another break and visit some more of our fine sponsors. When we come back, you can be calling us here at 737-7767. I know you got a world of questions for Andrew over here, but we'll be right back with more smallmouth fishing with smalljaw.com and Andrew.
See you in a bit.